Have you meditated today, bro? The first step in becoming more mindful is just meditating every day. That's how you build the habit. That's how you teach your subconscious that you're a meditator. You're a person who meditates every day, and you're a person who's mindful. You think your actions through, and that's why you make better decisions than someone who doesn't meditate. So teach yourself that you're a meditator. Meditate every day. Doesn't matter if it's just 5 minutes or if it's a few mindful breaths when you get stressed out at work. Just do it every single day. I swear if you meditate every day, even if it's just for a minute, in 30 to 90 days, it's going to become automatic. You're just going to meditate every single day without even thinking about it. And after meditating for 30 to 90 days, you're going to notice that you get better at it. Your attention span's going to increase, and you'll be able to meditate for longer without feeling anxious or fidgety. You're going to be able to keep your focus on other things even while you're not meditating. 5 minutes a day, and you'll notice the difference. I really recommend meditating longer as your attention span increases, or as you can find the time. I know not everyone's got a ton of spare time, but whenever you've got a few minutes free, just spend that meditating. If you meditate for 5 minutes, 6 times throughout the day, you're good, man. You're going to be so mindful. Think about guys out in China or Nepal just meditating 12 hours a day. Do you really think any of those guys hate their life? Because I know some of you guys watching do hate your life and you want it to change. Meditation's really the best start. That's the most important habit in self-improvement. You're going to think your actions out more. Picture this. This is a story that applies to me, and everyone's got situations like this. So fill in the blanks for your story. I'm at the store getting groceries. I've been on my diet real good. I'm only buying ground beef, eggs, yogurt, whole milk. I'm feeling good on my diet. I feel proud about myself for sticking to this diet, and that the progress that I'm making in my physique and in my health, how I feel. And for some reason, I decide to pick up some Sour Patch Kids or some sugary drink, whatever it is for you that makes you weak. You drink it, eat it, whatever, it takes a few minutes, and then you're just left with guilt and shame. You don't even barely remember the sensation of what that felt like. You can't imagine that it was worth sacrificing your goals and sacrificing the self-respect that you have for yourself. Because how can you respect yourself when you're constantly making decisions that hurt you in the future? You're giving up future enjoyment, satisfaction, and fulfillment for short-term pleasure. Drugs, video games, any kind of instant gratification. A lot of you guys are probably addicted to TikTok and shorts and that kind of stuff. That's probably the worst addiction for someone who wants to become more mindful. That and vaping are pretty much the opposite of meditation. They train your brain for instant gratification. Dopamine whenever you want it, with no effort put in. And in a few seconds, it's gone, and you're left feeling even worse. Your dopamine spikes quickly. If you're watching like a TikTok, it spikes for a minute. And then after that TikTok, if you just close your phone, your dopamine's gonna go below your original baseline. Now your baseline enjoyment of life is lower than it was 1 minute ago because you wanted to watch a TikTok. Now after you've been meditating for some time, and it doesn't need to be a lot, there's no point where you become mindful or enlightened. It gradually builds, just like anything else in self-improvement. Like the gym, the gains just keep adding on. And you need to stick with it long term. 5 years to build a physique that you can be really proud of and that really sticks out from the average person. So let's say after a week of meditating for 15 minutes each day, you're in that grocery store. You've been back on your diet, and you have another craving for some junk food. Now, you actually think about it. You think, Is this little bit of sugar and processed oils that taste good for a few minutes really worth sacrificing self-respect for myself in the long term? Obviously not. And it's not that you couldn't think that through before, it's just that you didn't think. That's what mindfulness is. You're thinking about your current situation, you're aware of what's going on, and you can think about the future rather than just the present. Because when you become addicted to substances or foods or content, you can't think about the long term. It strips your ability to do that because it has power over your brain. And you need to take that power back if you want to achieve anything in this life. Any kind of success, happiness, fulfillment. You want to be someone that people can count on. You can't do that if you can't even count on yourself. Can you think of a time recently when you said you were going to do something, some kind of work or chore, studying, going to the gym, something that's hard, but maybe you even enjoy it and you know it's going to make your life better, and then you waste your whole day playing video games or whatever your vice is? You feel so ashamed. At least I know I do. If you don't, then you're even further gone and you need to meditate even more. Anyway, people can smell that off you. People just sense it when they're speaking to you, that you're someone who isn't worth their respect, because they can tell you don't even respect yourself. You can't even get yourself to go to the gym or to stay on a diet. And you need discipline. I've spoken about discipline a lot. I'm going to keep speaking about it. I'm going to keep speaking about meditating. But meditating is the start. If you feel like you're at square one, your life is in shambles, mentally you're not well, even physically you're not well, you're overweight, you feel low energy all the time because of your diet and your habits, meditation is where you need to start. That is the start of the new you. That is the start of you. That is where you start making your own decisions and not your addictions. Not the simple part of your brain that only cares about surviving and reproducing. The part that's gonna tell you to eat some Cheetos because it's got salt in it and you need salt to survive. Or to eat this sugary dessert because it doesn't know the next time you're gonna get sugar. Even though you can have sugar almost instantly. Your brain doesn't know that, so it's gonna lead you in the wrong directions. Use the smart part of your brain to make thought out decisions. Take control of your life and build the life that you want for yourself. Because you can build any life that you want for yourself. You need the discipline, you need the mindfulness, and you need to break free from your addictions. Because they will always hold you back. As long as you've got an addiction, you can't reach your full potential. Some addictions can be crippling. Certain substances, even weed, alcohol, vaping, they're all legal, they're all widespread, but still highly addictive, both mentally and physically. They make you weaker. They teach you to give in to your physical bodily urges rather than chasing fulfillment, chasing instant gratification. Some are more inconspicuous. Maybe you like to watch an episode or two of a show after work to unwind. I say that with quotations, unwind. You're not going to unwind watching a show. And I'm not going to put you down too much for watching, less than an hour of a show each day. That's really not a lot. But over time, that adds up. And it takes up brain space. If you're giving away 10% of your free time to that, then that takes up 10% of your mind in your free time. Time that you could be devoting to your purpose, or at least something that you really want. not just that you're addicted to, something bigger than yourself, to actually have an impact on this world. Because that's what we're here to do. My point is, whether your addiction's big or small, you need to fight back, because you can retake control over your life, and you will feel better about it. You will feel better physically, mentally. You'll feel better about yourself and what you can accomplish. You know, maybe you've been struggling with an addiction for a really long time. You know, maybe you've been vaping for a long time. That could be pretty challenging to get off of, but everyone is capable of doing it. If you don't do it, it's because you decided not to. Or rather, your brain decided not to. You didn't consciously make the choice that you want to vape again if you quit vaping. No, your animalistic brain took over and made you do something that you don't want to do. And if you don't want to do something, just don't do it. That's your choice. Now maybe you're in an alright spot in life that you're somewhat satisfied with, and you're not plagued with addiction. Mindfulness can benefit everyone. Obviously, more mindfulness is better than less mindfulness. You can even enjoy time with your friends and family, those that you love, and you want to cherish that time with them. You can be more present in that and actually experience it to a fuller degree. And that's just mindfulness. That's one of the longer term benefits of meditation. But instantly, it decreases anxiety. You know, if you struggle with anxiety, meditating will just lower that baseline of anxiety. Over time, you'll notice that you're less anxious. And instantly, it can decrease anxiety. You start breathing heavy, you're getting all stressed out. Your brain starts racing, thinking about all the bad stuff that's going to happen. And you've been through this before. You've been really anxious or had a panic attack. And you know in the end you're all right. But in that moment, even thinking about that doesn't help. You know, this is also a time when many people will fall to their vices or addictions. Now you might drink, smoke, vape, eat some comfort food to quell your anxiety. But even meditating for a few minutes can lower your heart rate, lower the frequency of brain waves in your brain, bring you into a more calm state. You know, and more towards the state that you would be in when you're sleeping. I've also found, on top of this short burst of, I'd say, calmness, you also get a short burst of mindfulness. You know, even though it can take a while for the benefits to mindfulness to add up from meditating, I find I get an instant boost of mindfulness, and it can be very useful for making important decisions. If you're stressed out about something, or you're about to succumb to your addictions, meditate for a few minutes. Your brain has been conditioned, if you're my age, probably just about your whole life, for this instant gratification. You know, first it's TV, then it's, you know, videos on your phone everywhere you are. Quick little games on your phone whenever you're waiting more than a minute for anything. Now we've got TikTok. You know, you've been conditioned to have a short attention span and to not think things through. So fighting this, that has been hardwired into your brain for so long, by just focusing on your breathing with the sounds of nature. There are lots of different things you can meditate on, and this is just one small type of meditation. Whatever works for you, you'll figure it out over time. You can focus on the air going in and out of your nostrils, filling up and deflating your lungs. Anyway, that's very hard to do for a lot of people around my age. So it is a big accomplishment. And when you've spent so long giving into your urges and addictions without even thinking about it, now you've just spent 5 or 10 minutes focusing on one thing only, and every time your mind wanders, you bring it back. After that, you're going to feel good about yourself and think to yourself, do I really want to relapse on whatever addiction I'm kicking or eat this junk food? And I hope the answer is no, because I find that that's the case for me. This short boost of mindfulness is a superpower, so use it to your advantage. At least for beginners, I really do recommend short bursts of meditation throughout the day. It's really easy to add up a lot of meditation throughout the day. You've easily got 30 minutes every day that you could spare. Time when you're on the bus, or just sitting around at home with nothing to do, or on your break from work after you've eaten and you would usually scroll through TikTok. Just spend that time meditating and it will add up. And eventually, if you can stomach it, which I hope you can, a long bout of meditation will work wonders. That is really what will change your life. That's what you should be working towards. But I don't want to discourage anyone from trying it who feels that they can't do that. Honestly, I never had a problem with that, getting started with meditation. I've always loved the feeling of meditating and the act of losing my focus and then bringing it back. But I know some people hate it. When they start, it's just torture for them. And that makes sense. Going back to what we talked about how our brains have been conditioned. So don't lose hope. Slowly elongate the sessions of meditation. And after you've hit that first 30-minute meditation session, you're going to feel amazing. And I really hope all of you guys can experience that someday. Now back to the monks in Shaolin temples and whatnot, and why they seemingly enjoy life so much. It's partially due to their religious beliefs and philosophies. In Buddhism, what they're working towards, I believe, is 100% relief from their bodily urges and dissatisfactions with their current state. They're not working towards getting everything they want, because you can never get there. You're always going to want more, and that's just what it's like being a human. So they've decided to give up on accumulating items and wealth and experiences, and they've gone to the root of the problem of dissatisfaction. It's the longing for things that you don't have. That's one way about it. Even if you're not gonna get into that or become a monk or whatever, which is reasonable. If you can become a top 1% mindful person, where 99% of the population is less mindful than you, you're thinking your decisions out more than everyone, you're experiencing the present moment more than anyone, you're going to have a life that is amazing compared to the 99%. Because think about all the times that others would give in to their urges and addictions that you wouldn't. Let's say that you're in the 1% and you only give in 1% of the time that the average person does. That's going to be amazing for you. You're going to make so much progress towards your goals. And because you're so mindful and present in the moment, you'll be so much more receptive to your subconscious and what it's trying to tell you. What you really want out of life. Not what your current urges are. I want to get girls. I need to build this physique. I need to make money. building the physique and the money are great things. But doing it so that you can get girls isn't fulfilling your purpose. It's not fulfilling. And that's not really what your subconscious wants. You need to listen closely to what it wants. Something deep within you. Maybe this was more apparent to you as a child. Maybe you had a ton of fun doing a certain activity, and later in life you realize that it relates to something you're now doing that you feel incredibly fulfilled with. I loved playing with Lego as a kid. I probably spent more time with that than all the other toys combined. I play with it every day for hours, and I've discovered that I just love building stuff. I like building or making something that's cool, that's beautiful or functional. Something in this world that you can see and touch and other people can experience. I want to share what's in my brain with other people, with the world. And I hope you can make discoveries like that. I hope I can make many more. So listen to your subconscious. Some people think it speaks to you in dreams. I'm of that belief. When you're meditating and random thoughts pop up, that can also be the case. Anyway, there is some big, great desire that your subconscious has that you haven't realized that will make you feel incredibly fulfilled. And when you find that and are working towards it, you will be happier than you've ever been. Give up on chasing happiness through these experiences and chase purpose, fulfillment, and you will always be happy as long as you're on that path to something that you truly desire. So if you've never meditated, I'll tell you a little bit about how to do it. I've got another video just dedicated to that, and I rattle off some of the benefits quickly. Basically, how I do it, this is called mindfulness meditation. You bring your focus onto one thing. One thing that's simple, not bringing your focus onto watching a show. Bringing your focus into observing something simple, something calming. For me, it's always my breath. I usually focus on the sensation of the air going in and out of my nostrils. Other times, I visualize the air filling up my lungs. Meditating on running water is also really effective. On birds chirping, trees rustling. Just find something that you enjoy meditating on. Or maybe try a bunch of things. But inevitably, you will lose focus. Most likely very quickly. And you won't even notice that you've lost focus. After a while, you'll just realize that you've been thinking about this one thing that happened a while ago that's got some sort of emotional response in your brain. What you're going to do tomorrow. Something that you've been putting off that gets you anxious. Then you're going to remember, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be meditating. So you bring your focus back. And then after a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds, you've lost focus again. And you need to bring it back. This does two main things. Trains your brain to focus on one thing, and trains your brain to regain focus once you've lost it. You'll become quicker at noticing that you've lost focus. Not just in meditating, but in anything. You'll notice, I'm spending time with my girlfriend or my family, and I haven't even been paying attention to what she's saying. I'm thinking about my favorite TV show or whatever. The workout that you're going to hit later. And you'll bring your focus back to your girlfriend and what she's saying in the present moment, which is more important than whatever's bouncing around in your brain right now. And people do notice this. Really look someone in the eyes when you're talking to them, and you can notice the moment that they lose focus and aren't even hearing what you're saying. They're thinking about something else. And you notice when someone is really present. If you've had a really good conversation with someone where you leave it just feeling good about yourself and them, and you feel like a human. You've had that real human connection. That's because they were present. They were mindful the whole time. They were engaged in the conversation. Their conscious and subconscious brain were both in the conversation. And that's a great experience. I wish I could feel that with every person I talk to, but I can't, because most people are mindless. And you don't want to be one of those people. There are no benefits other than the current instant gratification of watching TikTok, doing drugs, all the bad habits. If you don't know, instant gratifications feel good right now, but have long-term detriment. I'll list off a few. Eating junk food, doing drugs, watching any kind of content, especially porn. They all feel good right now. That's what they all have in common. They feel good, but they're addictive, and I talked about how addictions can plague your mind. If you eat junk food, you're gonna feel worse, your physique's gonna look worse, you're just gonna be worse off in the long term, and in 10 years when you're fat, you're not gonna remember that one piece of candy that you ate today. Skipping a workout. Workouts can be hard to motivate yourself to do, especially when you start. If you are just getting into the gym, I love going to the gym now. It's so easy. It's probably my favorite part of the day, at least 4 days a week. And you can get to that point. You just need to keep going with it. Build that habit. But skipping a workout is going to be worse off in the future. Doing drugs is bad for your brain and for your body, but it feels good right now. That's instant gratification. Delayed gratification is reading, especially if you have got this mindless brain. It can be hard to focus, and it's not very stimulating, it's not fun. But you're going to gain more knowledge. It's going to have a similar effect to meditating, because you're focusing on something that's not very stimulating for a long time. Any kind of work is usually delayed gratification. And something you need to understand about instant and delayed gratification is they both compound in opposite ways. With delayed gratification, you may know this about addictions and dopamine. Each time you experience something, it has less of an effect on you. You're going to get less dopamine and less whatever other chemicals are involved in the instant gratification you're doing. And you're going to want to do it more often to get that same feeling. So, the positive short-term effect is eventually very quickly decreasing, and the negative effects are stacking. As you eat junk food more and more and more, you just get fatter and fatter and fatter. As you do more and more drugs, that's what leads to the mentally ill and drug addicted in the streets that you see. They seem so different from you, and you can't understand how their brain processes the world and why they make certain decisions that they do. That's the effect of those compounding negatives from instant gratification. Now, on the other hand, delayed gratification. It's hard to do right now, but it's good for you in the future. It becomes easier over time. As you build habits like meditation, going to the gym, reading, eating healthy, it becomes second nature at some point. And the positive effects just keep stacking and stacking as well. You're going to get more and more benefits. Thinking about working in a business, on your business, it's hard at the start. You're not making much money. And then you start making a little bit of money. You find a way that you can scale that up. And you're making even more money now. Now you can hire a team and invest in other directions. And you're just making more and more money. That's the compounding effect of delayed gratification. But you'll never get there if you're mindless. You won't have the power to overcome the simple part of your brain that, remember, is only concerned with living and reproducing, having sex, or in most cases, watching porn. Now, do you really need to reproduce right now? Probably no. And are you in immediate danger for your life? Again, probably no. So don't listen to the part of your brain that's only concerned with keeping you alive and reproducing. If you've never meditated before, I really hope after this video, you put your phone down, you close out your computer, and you just meditate for a few minutes, just to see what it's like, and start the streak of meditating every day. As I said, when you become mindful, that's the start of your new life. This is where you've regained power in your life to make the decisions that you actually want to, and so that you can stop feeling so ashamed of yourself when you see all these great things that other people are doing and you're still struggling with your addictions and not feeling so depressed that you want to kill yourself. You need to break the cycle. You need to do something different, or else you'll keep going around and around. So start meditating today. And if you've already been meditating, have you meditated today? If not, get on that. And I'd love to have a conversation with all you mindful guys. Thank you for watching.